do what makes you happy first. You and your pets. Do something that makes both of you happy first. Like, that should be what the standard is.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to MythBarkers, where we make dog parenting easier by sniffing out the facts and debunking dog tales.
With this second season of MythBarkers, we're so excited to be highlighting content creators and entrepreneurs who have gone all in and built successful careers around dogs and animals. I had the pleasure of meeting today's guest last year at an industry event called the Pet Summit. I was absolutely blown away by what she's doing, and I knew we needed to bring her on the show.
So our guest today is the founder of Pets on Q, a corporation and licensed agency that specializes in animal talent, mostly influencers, creators, and actors. She's also founded theanimallist.com, which is their marketplace for pets to be discovered and booked for projects, collaborations, and campaigns. Her mission the past 10 years has been to improve the industry for the betterment of the animals, specifically in the animal actor space. We are so excited to welcome Colleen Wilson to MythBarkers.
Hi.
Thanks for coming by. We have so many questions, and we're going to start with some of the misconceptions. Laura, if you'll take it away.
Yeah, we were talking about it before. There's so many misperceptions about pet influencers and content creators, from the notion that maybe handlers are exploiting their animals for money. I'm sure Yena will get into it later with her personal experience being in the space for the last 10 plus years, but I think you're the perfect person to help us debunk this and really shed light on how legitimate this business is. Can you give our listeners and our viewers an idea of the pet industry, how large it is, how much it's grown since you've been in this space?
A lot of stats running through my head from all the things you just said. So the pet sector itself is between $150 to $200 billion a year. Like, that's a big number. So when you look at the big picture, that's where it is. The influencer industry as a whole, not just pets, is over $30 billion as of last year. And sorry, I'm just throwing all these stats at you because I have to do a presentation soon. So I have all of these fresh in my brain right now. I just did a lot of research,
stats.
right?
We love facts.
So brands in the pet world and brands in the pet world and outside of the pet world. So think like Mercedes-Benz, Home Depot, even other brands, 63% use pets in their content. Because pet content performs at a 32% higher engagement rate than human content. So those are all fun facts to basically point back to the influencer industry is huge. Pet industry is huge. Pet influencers themselves, it's a massive industry. I couldn't even count on my hand anymore how many influencers I know that make six figures with their pets. Yeah. Like, I used to just be able to count on my hand. Like 10 years ago, there were just a few that were doing very well. Now there's so many of them that are doing really well.
I can absolutely attest to this. I feel like 10 years ago when I first started, I was like one of the only people in the space. And now, like, there are thousands popping up every single day. And what I love is it seems like there's like niche within niches. People are finding really creative and inventive new ways to showcase their relationship with their pet's talent, their special X factor, a lot of comedic sides, a lot of like beauty sides, a lot of really art driven directions too. So it's so incredible to see the whole range. But those statistics, even outside of the pet industry, that is so impactful because it reflects the lifestyle that people are living now. Like, more than 50% of US households now has a pet. And if you're thinking about relatable content, that's where your mind goes. Like, we need to have a pet in there to make this scene look like us.
Think of like commercials and TV shows. And whenever people find out what I do, then they start being like, hey, you know that like Fidelity commercial? Was that you? Did you put that dog in there? Hey, do you know that movie that had that snakes? Was that you? It's fun. And it goes into both sides. And, as an agency, we handle kind of both. And also to like, You've done great things with your dog. Like, I've always been a fan of yours. I don't know why we didn't connect like 10 years ago, because I was also in the city too. Like, what was I thinking?
We must have, but we're here now.
Yes. We're here now.
So I'm curious, let's go back a little bit. What inspired you to start Pets on Q?
Well, I was a private banker in New York, and I was really stressed at my job. And the natural transition, just because I love animals, is to start training animals because I was just good at it already. And I learned from someone who worked in animal acting in that field. And people like pushed me towards it at the dog park. You know, New York City, like at the dog park, people are like, you need to do this. So one of the first jobs I did was with Taylor Swift. And
Oh.
I've been hooked ever since, because who wouldn't love that? Like, that was like, what, just over 10 years ago.
That's a
And
very big first opportunity.
yeah. Well, I mean, like, and look, I saw a lot of abuse in the industry, all of that stuff. And this was pre-influencer. This was pre-Grumpy Cat that all of this stuff started happening. And then within the next year, influencers started blowing up. I posted a picture of my dog and he had more followers than me in 2 days. And I was like, what am I doing wrong in life? So I started to see that niche and was like, hey, this is a fun side job. So I did it as a side job for the first 4 or 5 years and was still doing banking until I couldn't do it as a side job anymore. I needed to hire people and do full time. So that's how it all got started. And I just saw abuse in the industry and I saw influencers being taken advantage of by brands and was like, there's an easier, nicer way that I can do this and help people. And then word of mouth just kind of just started, because we were just doing good business. Like, that's it. Like, we were just small, niche, wanting to help people, and that's it. Isn't we? It was just me for a long time.
How did you see the animal abuse? Like, I'm curious how you even were exposed to that in the beginning if you were in a completely different sector.
Well, so I worked in both. So coming from a background with just being good with animals and going into behavior and learning from one of the top trainers in the industry, like he was abusive to his animals. Like, and I was like, there's a really easy way to get the dog to do that without being abusive. So I just started to see that. On the influencer side, I started seeing people forcing their animals to do things. So I only wanted to work with people that their animals wanted to be there. Like, so that's why I kept my team really, really small and tight for a very long, long time. And I just kind of focused on that because I had another job too at the same time and was saving up to make this be a full-time thing. I mean, you see it. Like, you can see on TV and in influencers too, you can see when the animals are just like, I don't want to be doing this, like, or they're afraid, and you see them wincing and you're like, oh, this isn't a good thing. So we just focused on good people that were doing good, and it's in the industry. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's there.
Yeah.
We're focusing on the good in it, and I'm trying to make it better and have standards across the board so we can slowly start weeding that out. And we've done that, which has been good. I want to do more. Get rid of the really bad people in the industry. The production side is a little worse, but it's getting a lot better. And I'm proud to be like at the forefront of that. Like, genuinely, it's like pride and joy.
I think the fact that we are having this discussion and bringing light to this topic in general is a really good thing to do, because I don't think animal treatment behind the scenes for production is talked about enough. And the thing is, we were talking to Bill Berloni and he said, if they do hire a third party, they get paid by the production itself. So it's almost like there's a conflict of interest inherently. So there's no real advocate for the animals on set. So if somebody steps up and creates these parameters and there's a sense of constant observation, I think that's a really amazing start.
Thank you.
Yeah. How are some of the ways that you ensure that you sort of weed these people out, or there's like more awareness around this topic?
It's a catch-22 in my eyes, because the more awareness I bring to it, the less people want to work with animals, right? So it is a catch-22 for me. So I have to like be really careful about what I say. So what we do as a company, we certify agents. We are licensed, so we give agents licenses. We then, the agents and our team, we certify wranglers. So all of our wranglers are the people that bring the animals on set. So they ensure safety. There's a lot of safety protocols, a lot of safety training that they go through, webinars, and they have to have continued education to be able to hold that certificate. And make sure that the animals are safe on set. First priority. Second priority is making sure the animals that are going on set want to be there, are healthy, temperamented to be there, and are trained enough to be there. So that part of it itself, for the past 10 years, that has really solved the abuse issue on our side. Like, we haven't had problems on that side because we just look at the animals first. Hey, this one's temperamented. This one has a good personality. And I'm not saying that all animals should be on set. They shouldn't be. It's like 10% or less of animals that should be there because they thrive in it. Like, my dog was going to be put down when I got him because he is a psycho Dalmatian, crazy. He needed a job. He thrives on set. He's retired now, but he thrives and he like lights up like, get my face up. Like, but just going through certifying the Wranglers certify the animals, and they're different levels. So we have a temperament approved animal actor, which is basic background role or small role, advanced animal actor, and elite animal actor. So we have categories for all different producers. Like if you need an advanced animal, if you need a simple animal, that's kind of how we separated it out, and making sure that the animals go with a certified Wrangler on set. It's a simple solution.
How do you know if a dog or an animal wants to be there and wants to work? I mean, you obviously know what to recognize, but for people who aren't in this field, like what are you looking for? How do you know that they're going to perform well?
Yeah, so when we evaluate them, we look for stressor signs. We test them. So we put them in a set-like environment with a lot of people around. I mean, you guys know with animals, like you see the stress signs, you see signs of abuse, you see if they're malnourished, you see if they're healthy, you see if you see all of those things. Make sure they're bathed, they're properly cared for. Temperament approval is like passing a therapy animal certificate, like very basics to make sure that they understand sit, that they're not being forced to do it, that they get it and they want to do it. The animals that want to be there and they love doing it, they thrive on set. It's pretty easy for us to separate it out now that we've seen it thousands and thousands of times. And for our Wranglers, I feel like that's the base thing that we look at. And then we look at training ability, because if you have a really well-trained animal that's going to be afraid on set, it shows up on camera. It doesn't matter. So we always need the temperament approval first. And I think that's the most important. Yeah. But feel free to ask influencer questions. I always go on animal actor tangents because I just am obsessed with that side.
It's so interesting.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's so interesting. And when we talked to Bill Berloni, we were shocked to hear how there was such lack of protections, especially because I don't know, you grow up watching TV and film and you see the disclaimer that no animal was harmed. Yep. So I think everyone assumes that there is a third party who's enforcing and to make sure that these animals are taken care of them.
So American Humane Association, if no animals were harmed, that is there. They own the patent to that. That means no animals were harmed was on set. AHA was on set to see that. That doesn't necessarily mean that no animals were harmed. It just means that they were on set and they reported everything and recorded everything. Granted, American Humane Association, I've been on set with them. I love it when we're there because they can say, hey, the temperature is getting too cold. You have 2 minutes left with this snake because the snake needs to go back into the warmth because it could hurt his health. Right?
Oh, wow.
They said, hey, the gunfire, we need to test it with the horse, and we're checking the horse's reaction to see how they're doing it. And, this horse might be a little uncomfortable. You only get 3 more shots with a gun to the producer. So they act as the middle person for us. Personally, I love when they're there, but I've never had any accidents on set. It doesn't necessarily mean that no animals were harmed, but I love the organization. I'm a big fan of them. Yeah.
I mean, this is such a great protocol, not just for the animals, but for the people too, because they're in an environment and, it's really important to keep everybody safe. And if the horse does not respond to sounds like that well, there could be many, many disasters. So if anything, investing in making sure that the animals are comfortable really benefits everybody.
Yeah. Well, then you have other things that you don't know, like if the horse, the stunt guy jumps on the horse and is whacking him when he shouldn't be. And then we basically say, hey, the stunt guy's got to go. The Wrangler's jumping on next, because he's beating the horse. And we say no, when they do the test run. And we're like, absolutely not. Get our Wrangler in makeup now. There are things that we can shut down. And it costs production a lot of money if a cat shows up on set and it's hiding under the bed. You can't get the shot. That can cost a production $50,000 to $100,000 if they hire the wrong animal too. Wow. So our methodologies have worked and we're just trying to make it better. Yeah.
Amazing.
Is there training done with the people that are going to interact with the animals?
So yes and no. If there's a pretty big actor, we will do riding lessons if they're with a horse. Okay. Most of the time they meet the animal the day of. Unless we're doing like a bigger movie and the animal's a big part of the movie, we want to make sure the chemistry test is there with the animals too. So we've done that before. But for the most part, 90% of the time, they're meeting the day of. And so the dogs, the cats, they need to be good with strangers. They need to act like that's their owner for it to show up. And that's the kind of animal we're looking for, is that they're taking direction. They don't need to necessarily, the cat's not going to be like, screw my owner, this is my new owner now. The cat needs to act like it's their owner. So we teach the cat, okay, go touch this person, go nuzzle on this person, go to Mark, and the Mark is on the actor's shoulder. So it's faked. It looks like it is, but it's not, which is like movie magic. But you need an animal that actually doesn't necessarily care that much about people, isn't overly lovey, but loves to work. Like,
Mm.
it's so cool when you get an animal that like loves it and they get on set and they're like, oh, I know
This
what
is
I'm
my
doing
moment.
here. I'm shining. Like, oh.
I'm the real star here.
Yes, exactly. Where they take over. Like, it's so comical.
I think there really are animals that
Mhm.
truly know this about themselves. Like,
1000%.
they know that they got the thing that it takes.
Mm-hmm.
Bodhi was like that. Like, ever since he was born, I feel like he knew he had it.
Yeah,
This inner confidence, this like
that it
charisma.
factor.
And you
Like the
can't
bad
really,
kid dogs.
yeah, and sometimes you can't even train that in. Like, they just got it sometimes.
Mhm. Yeah.
Colleen, you've done this for a long time. How do you recognize stars? Like, what are you looking for when you're gonna potentially work with new talent, or when you were doing your Netflix show, Pet Stars? Like, is there a set of criteria?
Yes, it depends. Like the influencer side of things, I'm looking for authentic engagement. I'm looking for people that don't have fake followers, aren't really in
Mm,
pods. They're growing organically and have their own audience and they've kind of fit out their own niche. And that's what I'm looking for because that's what brands are looking for. They're doing
mm,
background checks now. They're looking at the quality audience that people have. Like that's the simple side of it. For the actor side of it, honestly, it's trusting the right wranglers
mm,
and then they're picking the right animals. We bring some on set like with other animals to like test them out, see how they do in the environment, or they're the backup animal. And sometimes the backup animal destroys the other one and is now the star. There's a lot of like testing and having the right trainers that
mm.
have the animal's best interest at heart. And when the animals get there and they perform really well, then we hire them back and again and again and again. That's kind of how that side works. For the other side, it's all about your audience and your engagement, which you guys, you know that, yeah.
Well, let's maybe talk a little bit more about that because that's a lot of what we're trying to talk about this season with content creators and influencers. And, Yena has tons more experience than I. It seems like your growing business like inspired you to launch the Animalist. Can you share with our audience what the Animalist is and how it works?
Okay, so the Animalist is a marketplace for hiring animal talent. So not just animal actors, not just influencers, UGC creators, a horse for a wedding, puppies for a birthday party. It's a public marketplace, so it's a Fiverr, Upwork, but just for animal talent. We needed it as an agency, so it actually got started more of an internal tool. And now it's almost like what you just said. It's almost like an incubator so we can see who's performing really well and then bring
Mm.
them into our agency too. So we use it that way. We have like more UGC small brands like that are hiring on the Animalist and they don't have the money to hire an agency. So we kind of did it out of that necessity. Plus, when Pet Stars came out, we got this massive inflow of people that wanted to do this. And we, as a small company, couldn't manage all of that. So we built a marketplace for them to be connected. And it's free to make a listing. It's free for brands or producers to make casting calls. And people are booking on their own now, which is really cool. It's different from what I expected it would be, but it's really fun and cool.
It's really cool that it started as an internal tool and the
Yeah.
demand was that like fervent that you had to create a marketplace.
Yeah.
So you've been at this for over 10 years. What have you observed in the industry? Have there been any changes in the landscape, the demand? Speak to us about that a little bit.
The influencer side is probably more fascinating. The actor side has just been a demand for better quality, safer things. So working with rescues, like that's great. That's definitely moving in the right direction. And the influencer side, it has evolved drastically and it's continuing to evolve. So brands are more focused on ROI. Influencers are not converting the ROI that they did before, even though pet influencers have a 32% higher engagement rate, their conversion rate is far less. Their engagement rate on their post, the authenticity on their post is higher. They convert less than a human account. So a lot of brands, like 2 years ago, shifted over to people content with pets because that started performing better. So you noticed that a couple years ago, more people and pet stuff started going live, and those are the ones that started booking a lot of brands.
Mm.
It's since shifted again. And this is like all post COVID, because I can go into COVID and the demand spike and the price spike that went up for influencers when there wasn't that much supply. But now the supply is so high and the demand is far lower. So the prices People are fighting over prices right now. Influencers want this rate, but their value is down here. So right now there's this massive fight on both sides, which is just fascinating for me to see. I see both sides' points, and people just need to meet in the middle because it's changing. Like, I know influencers that used to get 100K per post. I just closed a deal with one that's under 20 for a video. That's a very, very large influencer. And the medium-sized ones, it's gone from 2,000 to like a few $100s. Like, so it's shifting drastically more as brands are not getting their return anymore. So they're shifting more towards UGC. So they're paying less for UGC with unknown people, giving them some promotion. And that's been performing really well for brands. So if you're a mid-size influencer and you're not booking brands, I would recommend getting into UGC or posting listings on the animal list for hire on that side. That's what we're seeing a lot more of. There still is a demand for the mid-tier and larger influencers. It's just diminished a little bit because of the price points that they're coming, quite frankly, to us with. And what the brand wants to pay them is here, what they want is here. And the meeting in the middle has kind of been very difficult in the past year. Very difficult. But we knew that this was going to happen because of supply and demand. Yeah.
So the second question is very closely connected to that. When you identify pet stars or influencers, how do you navigate their value? And how do you advocate for both brands as well as the talent? Because like you said, it's a very sensitive mix and you see both sides and both angles. How do you get them to meet in the sweet spot in the middle?
I really like you. Can you tell them, like, I have that brain that works that way. So we created an algorithm that's an internal tool, so we can pull what their quality audience is and come up with the valuation, and as that changes. So we actually set the pricing standards for pet influencers based on their engagement and their ROI. So we took a lot of the past campaigns that we had, updated it for TikTok, Instagram, because they all have different valuations. They all have different calculations. So a story is worth less than a photo, is worth less than a video. Yeah. TikTok videos are worth less than Instagram videos, is worth different from Facebook versus YouTube. So we created an algorithm so we can plug those numbers in and plug that account in, see who their quality audience is, who they're actually reaching. Because I mean, like, 2 accounts with 1 million followers should not be charging the same amount. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Account A has like a 0.6% engagement rate. Account B has an 8% engagement rate. It's like where their price point's way up here, the other price point's like really way down there. And so brands have recognized that and have been far more willing to move forward with influencers when they know what their quality audience is. Yeah.
That's a really good answer.
Thank you. That was a really good question, and I loved it. I wasn't expecting that.
Thank you.
My mind is spinning just how much it's changed and how it seems very case specific, but also it seems like there's also been such a surge of talent. It seems like you have more options now as a brand. There's a lot more options of potential content creators, influencers to work with. So it seems like that's also probably had an impact on the business itself.
Yeah, a lot. And it's brands will come to us. We have a big brand right now, and they're, okay, we need options for this product, and we will give them 20 options. They're not happy with all of them. They want something very specific. So then, oh wait, we go back to the drawing board, give them 10 more. They want rates of these 4, and they're all around the same size, but the rates vary from 100 to 10,000. It's like, what is happening? So that's kind of where the industry's at right now, where influencers don't know their value. Brands don't know what to pay. It's just confusion is across the board. Especially the newer influencers and the older influencers thinking that they're getting what they used to be getting. The newer influencers see what other people are making and assume that they're worth that much, or that they undervalue themselves too. When they undervalue themselves, the brands are going to book you.
You'll get paid less.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting too. So I'm an outsider. I don't have this experience as a successful, content creator and pet influencer. But you see new accounts popping up, and it's like, I think some people think, oh, I can get there. Like, do you think the space is too saturated? Is there still room for new stars? How do you guide people when they're like expressing interest in this space?
I feel like you talk people out of it more than into it.
That's very honest.
It's very honest.
I mean,
it's a full-time job. Like, I
Yeah.
know people that it's, I mean, you know, right?
Yeah, it's
You've
a
run this
lot of
account
work.
for a long time. It's a lot of work. And if you slack on engagement, if you slack on not posting consistently, it ruins all the work that you put into it.
Mm.
So if you and your pet love doing something, like I would account that they love hiking with their animals, like with their cat and dogs, right? They go on these hikes and she loves filming it, but she will never be in camera. She will never say things. She'll never do voiceovers. Great for photography, less so much for video. And they enjoy doing that. So I'm like, keep doing that. And when they change it too much, you get burnt out. So I'm like, do what makes you happy first. You and your pets. Do something that makes both of you happy first. Like that should be what the standard is. Don't force your pets to do things because then I will see on the account and I will not hire.
Mhm.
That's beautiful.
That was actually one of our questions. Is there like a list of people that you refuse to work
Yes.
with? And like, what does that list entail? What kind of behaviors, what kind of conditions, and what kind of people do you refuse to work with in this
Don't
space?
answer that too fast. Yes, there's a blacklist in the industry that's very private and very
Yeah.
gate kept. So on our team, we have a 3-strike system before we add someone to it. Like, being unbelievably rude to a brand, like extremely rude, not like, yeah, I'll get to the content when I can get to it type rude. It's like warranted of a strike, where it's like, ooh, I don't know if I want to work with you again, strike. Then we have that 3-strike system. However, I do bypass that 3-strike system when there's abuse involved. Then we put them on the blacklist instantly, and then you're not gonna work. And that's for other production companies, other agencies. And other people will report like, hey, this happened with this influencer, and it's kind of a little thing. I don't know how much I can say about that, but it's definitely an insider list.
Yeah.
So the big influencers that you've noticed, hey, they really haven't been working with brands. There's a reason for that. Yeah.
I think that's good for accountability, to be honest. Like, there needs to be a list.
There's some people that are really doing it and they are using their animals when they shouldn't be. And there's other people that love doing it. In the pet world, there's a lot of opinions. Like, unbelievable amount. I mean, you guys know this. On the training side, even in the horse side, in the snake world, like everywhere has opinions. I try to be Switzerland. Like, I'm Switzerland. I will work with balanced and R plus trainers. I work with both, but when it comes to abuse, done.
Non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's great to hear that.
Yeah. Saying like it's almost impossible to catch it all, but for the most part, I saw someone punch a cat on set before and I fired them on the spot for a Super Bowl commercial. That was fun. Fired them on the spot. Had a backup cat, luckily. Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I reported that instantly. Never worked with them again.
I can't believe that happened. That's
I've
wild.
heard that is not the worst story I have heard this month. That's only happened to us one time.
You say you see things also online. So are you seeing content that people are putting out there and you can tell because you have a keen eye that the animal is stressed or not enjoying what they're doing?
Yeah, of course. But I miss some of it too because of edits. They're smart too. They'll cut and edit some of the bad parts out. I would say most of the time it's when we see it in person or on like a live. Like people have been canceled because of lives now, which I think is good. But like for the most part, most people are treating their animals well. And I'm talking about like extreme abuse situations.
Yeah.
Like there are a couple of rescues out there that have done some bad things that have been caught and canceled.
We love what you're doing and how that is your mission to make the industry better for animals, because that's what we're trying to do just in general, enrich the lives of all of we're very dog biased, but enrich the lives of all of our animals, dogs and other pets, because that's what they deserve.
All of them.
Like good people should be hired too, Like that's good.
I'd love to talk about AI and CGI in entertainment as relates to animals, because it wasn't something that was necessarily on our radar. I have to give Bill Berloni credit. He was the one who brought it up to us when we spoke to him. But most notably, Crypto has won people's hearts and minds in Superman. And he is inspired by James Gunn's rescue dog, Ozu. Crypto is the dog in Superman. He is a CGI character. How do you feel, given your role in the industry? What is your opinion on AI and CGI? Sorry to put you on the spot on that, but it's a very topical.
First of all, I personally love AI. I think it can be used for good and used for bad. So there's both sides of the coin, right? I mean, that dog is flying around doing massive stunts, whatnot. However, audience perspective, it doesn't look real, right? Like it doesn't look super real. So on one hand, an animal being trained specifically for that, if a producer like that came to me and I need this specific look, luckily I do have a little wiry dog that I actually think does look like that. If I were in their position, I probably would have done a combination, a little bit of both. So like for the close-up shots, getting actions, and then doing CGI. I think CGI in a lot of movies, like even the tiger from Life of Pi.
Yeah.
Life of Pi.
Pi.
That was based off of a real animal actor tiger. I know the tiger. That was based off of a very specific tiger. Yeah, he's only like one working tiger. Personally, I think that they should be in the wild, but I don't work exotics. I think for the exotic side of the world, AI is amazing. AI is absolutely amazing. For the dog and cat side and the snake and the regular pets, I think there are bits and pieces that can be AI and CGI, and there's other things that need to be a real animal just for the viewer's experience, because it's I haven't watched Superman yet. I definitely want to. For the viewer's experience, seeing a real animal doing those things, because they can do most of those, but there are other things that would not be safe for an animal to do.
Right.
So I hope it's used for good. And I hope it's going to save a lot of animals from being forced to do this work that they don't need to do, especially the exotic space. That's where I stand on that side. For the other side, for the viewer's experience, yeah, like I would rather see a dog that I know could pull the cape. Like there are dogs that can do that in their sleep.
Right.
Like, and yeah.
He did actually bring his dog on set and they had him scanned, and then he showed like videos of like how the dog moves and interacts with like his feet and like a ball and like different things. So it was very like intentional that this dog is like
He was
just
trapped.
like his crazy dog, but like has superpowers.
Yeah.
So I was very impressed with like the way they handled it personally.
Oh, cool.
It's fascinating.
I would love to see it, but I would also love to have like worked with him on getting the dog to do a few tasks. So you could film that with their high cameras and whatnot, so they could have used some of the, like, especially expressions. I feel like that falls flat a little bit.
I get that because I feel like we have uncanny valley with human faces, because we've just seen human faces throughout our entire existence and our past existence, like in history. And I think because we spend so much time with our pets, dogs, and cats, there must be some sort of threshold where, because we see their face so often, we can tell if something doesn't look quite right, just like with a human face. I'm gonna have to fact check this, but I feel like that would be the case. So showing an animal in real life with their micro expressions, with their actual faces and fur, I don't think that can be replaced yet. Maybe down the line, the technology will be
Even
there,
like
but
hair,
not right now.
Like that, my hair doesn't look great right now, but like doing that with your hair moving, that it looks natural. And some of these AI bots, you see it. Like you see it, and I just instantly scroll. But AI is getting better.
People don't always know. That's what's the scary part about AI. You see these videos on social about this animal rescue, this wild thing out in the ocean, or this wild animal, and you're like, oh my God. And then you're like, wait, is this real or is this AI? And some people don't always catch it. I think what we're hearing from you is the importance of authenticity.
Yeah.
In any kind of animal, as a professional, any kind of animal star role, it needs to be authentic.
Yeah.
So speaking, it does. And speaking of authenticity, how important is the human-animal bond, both on set and for influencers?
It's a massive thing in the pet industry. The human-animal bond is the reason we have animals, the reason we have pets, because we fall in love with them for some reason or another. I just think we're accountable and responsible, influencers and production animals, for the animals that are being put on the screen, so people are falling in love with them. Because there are kids watching. Like Pet Stars ended up being more of a kid show, which is fascinating because it wasn't meant to be. It was meant to be like a woman in business empowerment show, but then they're like, you two are weird. This is gonna be kid. So that's how that happened. But there are children that are watching. There are people that are getting a Beauceron because they fell in love with a Beauceron online. They're getting, oh, I can get a black mamba snake because this guy has it, and then the guy dies because he gets bit by it. I don't know. I think there's a massive responsibility on us as creators and in the production world. Yeah.
And pet parents.
Yeah.
We need to do our best. And we need to be
Yeah.
educated, and that's also a lot of what we're trying to do here is share our knowledge and bring in experts like you to help make pet parenting easier for people, because it's a big responsibility and it should not be taken lightly.
Yes. I love this podcast.
And there's so much to learn. Honestly, like the more we interview experts, the more we realize is like the tip of the iceberg. There's so much beneath the surface that we need to understand and discover about our pets and our dogs and cats. So this is going to bring us one step closer.
Yeah. I'm excited. I didn't see your other with Bill. I want to listen to that one. I'm very fascinated.
He's so fascinating to have done what he's done for 50 years, to pioneer the use of live animals in theater. And then he's obviously gone beyond theater and into various forms of entertainment. But I have so much respect for what he's done. And he's such an advocate for a rescue, which is like my number one passion. So
he gives like unlimited time and calls to people that rescue through him, which is crazy.
That's amazing.
Right?
I did not know that about him.
I was like, respect. That is dedication.
That's dedication. I think we do a lot of like puppies and kittens on set, and we always go with rescues.
Yeah.
So, and then
a lot of the times,
oh yeah, always, yeah. My dog's rescue. I'm not opposed to breeders. I think there are good breeders out there. I think they're great rescues. I think there's bad on both sides too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good people across the board. I'm Switzerland in the middle.
Yep.
But when it comes to like, oh, the shoot needs puppies on set, or they need kittens on set, they want a variety look. The best place to get that is a rescue. Yeah. And then when that kitten, the rescue can say, like, this cat was in, this fun commercial or this TV show, this music video, they get adopted. And so do all their siblings because of that fact.
Absolutely.
And it's like this win-win, and it's literally the best. And we get to go temperament test like hundreds of kittens to get 10 or 12. So then they know they're going to get one of the best ones. But we also, in production, get very confident, a little crazy. That's because they're not going to be afraid of the production equipment. So another thing you want to consider before you adopt from us.
We've talked about it with a few different people, making sure that you're the right fit for the dog and the dog's the right fit for you, and really taking time to be aware and intentional when you're adopting, because a lot of people, I see it, I'm a adoption coordinator. People want a pet and they take the pet and then they're like, oh, I did not know it was this much work, even though you talked to them in advance, and then it doesn't work out. And so, we want to help make pet parenting easier and make sure like, these dogs have the best possible lives. So
we'll say the industry across the board, they're trying to get more pets into houses because they've seen a decline post-COVID. COVID numbers went up. Now there's this massive decline. And the big people in the industry, the people that run the industry, that's what they say for the past like 3 conventions I've been to. Their big takeaway is, how do we as an industry get more pets into people's houses? Because then the pet food industry goes up, the pet toy industry goes up, everything goes up. And the numbers have gone down. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. I think people are being more educated because now we have access to social media. And, I really want a protection dog. And then they look, German Shepherd's way too much dog for me. Borble, that I can't even do that. Like, they're learning about, I think people are being more educated now, which is good. I don't know. If you haven't figured out, I'm very devil's advocate. I go on both sides. I flip around and...
It's good to be that way. I mean, there's so many different factors too. I think after COVID, a lot of people returned their dogs because we're like, I got to go back into the office now, or, I can go outside now. There's a slew of different reasons. But yeah, I have sort of noticed that overall things are getting pricier in pet ownership just in the last couple of years too. So that's probably another topic that we're going to delve into.
It's another barrier for adoption, and just bringing pets is the rising cost of vet care and the supplies and everything else too. So, and the pipeline of homeless animals. So we ultimately want to be able to fund spay and neuter initiatives through this platform. Financially, it makes all the sense in the world. It's so much more costly to spay and neuter than to vet and appropriately treat all these dogs.
Yep. I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
We're going to shift gears. So with MythBarkers, we're all about debunking myths. We're going to get to the bottom of misperceptions about dogs. These are just some short statements. If you could give a reaction within 60 seconds or less for these various statements, okay? Any dog can go viral.
Yes. In the right context. With the right camera equipment, with the right moment being captured, with the right SEO.
Creating content with your dog for social media isn't real work.
I mean, you know more than anyone. You know this answer. False. Yeah, it can be a lot of work. It also can be a lot of fun if you're doing the right thing with your pet, and it just becomes the best hobby ever that
I
you can make
agree.
money with. Yeah.
And I love that you said do the thing that you already love doing with your dog, because that ensures that you're going to be consistent with it and that you actually love doing it, and so does your dog.
And that your pet loves it too.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
it becomes so fun.
Yeah.
So fun.
And I think the audience can tell when you love it. It's exploitative to use your dog to make money.
Both. True and false. I think there are people out there that are doing it just for that. And I think there are other people out there that are doing it because their animal loves it and because it's fun. I've seen both sides. I prefer to work with one side.
Yeah. Animals are unreliable and shouldn't be used in business.
True and false. I think some animals are very reliable if they've gone through proper training, temperament, whatnot. Some animals are not. It depends on the animal and the people that they're hiring, honestly. It's a very controversial area. Yeah.
The pet influencer business isn't big business.
False. 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 Influencer industry is over $30 billion this year, and pets are the most viewed thing on social. So, false.
Seeing star potential in a pet is purely subjective.
False. Everyone's pet is a star.
I kind of love that this is true.
It is true. Because it's the best in the world for them. And I feel like your pets start to like resemble you and take on your personality too. Like, my dog's kind of a jerk sometimes. He's ADHD, but he's really kind at heart. And that's me.
I love it. Social media is too saturated at this point to start a pet account.
False. There are new social platforms popping up all the time. There's new opportunity all the time. People that didn't go viral for years are now going viral. Like, it depends on the platform, depends on what your audience is. Yeah.
Perfect.
Great.
You guys are so fun.
Well, Colleen, thank you so much for joining us. We've been all over the place with our discussion, but we had such a good time. We've learned so much, and I wish we had more time to keep talking with you because this was really special. You can follow The Animalist and Pets on Cue on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Thanks to everyone for tuning in today. Stay tuned for the next episode of MythBarkers.